Hi everyone, it's Allie, and this is my spoiler-free review for The Lesson by Cadwell Turnbull. The Lesson is a science fiction novel set in the US Virgin Islands, and basically we get to see the life of the people in the island of St. Thomas 2 weeks before the alien invasion. We get to follow a couple characters in particular, learn a little bit about them, and then we'll see them later on in the book as well. Then we have the alien invasion of a species called the Ina. Interesting because they don't actually want to be violent, they want to be peaceful. They are at the island for a research project. They don't go anywhere else in the world, they just stick to this one area, and they are peaceful as long as other people are peaceful towards them. If they feel even a little bit threatened, they get very deadly and violent. Now, what's interesting about this book is you have the story 2 weeks before the alien invasion, and then it kind of does a 5-year skip. After the 5-year skip, we get to see a little bit more of the relationship between the residents of the island and the Ina. And that's where this book really excels, is trying to look at those deeper meanings of relationships between, I guess, species in this case, but could definitely be an analogy of relationship between different types of peoples in general. The Ina have a lot to offer. They cure cancer, they bring lots of important technologies, but at the same time, the people of St. Thomas really are living under their reign and kind of under their thumb, in that even though they want to be peaceful and they don't really want to be involved in the government, they really are kind of controlling because you cannot upset an Ina. This book is particularly difficult for me to review because I have two sides of me that are kind of fighting for dominance in how I feel about it and how I rate it. Let me tell you why. I feel like The Lesson is the science fiction novel that your English teacher would have assigned you in high school or college. It's something that exists to look at humanity, and that's where its strengths lie. Specifically, it lets us look at human nature and lets us look at how we react under different situations. It is a great commentary on colonialism and actually goes a lot into the history of the US Virgin Islands through different colonizers and everything that happened. We do get to see history as well as have a science fiction, so it's definitely mixing genres quite a bit, and that is very intriguing and well done. It also shows human ambition and power dynamics and how power changes people, how power makes people live on unequal footing, as well as showing human superstition, not trusting people because of maybe superficial reasons or just superstition in general. And I thought that was interesting. The other thing that it really does show that can help us see is a relationship. There's a romantic relationship in the book where there is a heavy power imbalance. And it shows the dynamics of a relationship with a heavy power imbalance through the Ina and humankind. So it's something that can spark a lot of discussions about human nature and about how we are and about history. That's why I think it's a science fiction novel that your English teacher would have assigned you. And for all those reasons, it's really good. However, there are aspects of the book that I didn't particularly like as much. And what it is because it's trying to have a higher discussion and almost an intellectual setting, you feel kind of distant from the world and the characters. It does keep you at arm's length. The title of the book, The Lesson, the aliens keep saying, oh, there's a lesson to be learned. You never learn very much about the alien society. You don't really learn about their world, where they came from. You don't ever really learn what the lesson is, and that kind of is left up for debate. And while I like that in the literary sense, in the science fiction books, sometimes I crave something that's a little bit more akin to like world building and a lot more character development than I feel you get in this book. And the book keeping you at arm's distance has been the reason why I've known a lot of people who have DNF'd this book. And I think that's because they went into the book expecting a science fiction and not expecting a piece of literature. And that's honestly what I did too. So it kind of took me pushing through to get to the point where I enjoyed it for what it really was, not for the expectations I had of it. I think the success of this book, in my opinion, kind of depends on how you market it because of everything I just said. Marketed as a debut science fiction novel, I feel like it falls a little bit short, mainly because it's not the main focus. You're not going to see a complex alien society culture with little interesting science fiction normal things. You're going to get a mere put on humanity that can open up a lot of discussions. Marketed as a like literary fiction or something like that with a science fiction approach, it does a lot better for me. If I were to have to rate this as a pure science fiction, just like I sit down fun and want to go into a science fiction world and enjoy the interesting little tidbits and feel like I'm close in and know the characters, this is like a 2 out of 5. Marketed as a literary fiction that gets me to think more about humanities and our shortcomings, this is like a 4 out of 5. So for me, that makes it really difficult to rate and really difficult to know how to recommend it. I think that's what it is. If you want to go into a deep discussion of humanity, pick up this book. It is a really good one. If you want something that's a little bit more on the traditional fun science fiction side where you're going to get into this world and kind of learn a bunch of different things and understand the intricacies of another made up culture, I don't think this is for you. However, after I got over the fact that it's not what I was expecting, I really did enjoy it. So I do overall recommend it, and I'd probably give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, even though I don't feel like that really means what it should, because I'm still so conflicted between those two things I talked about. So this is one of those where I feel very insecure in the rating. If you already read The Lesson by Cadwell Turnbull, let me know what you thought about it in the comments. I'd love to talk more about it. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, consider subscribing to the channel, and hopefully I'll see you later.